The grace of God is sufficient for you no matter what may be happening in your life. His grace is more significant than any of your challenges, including all the negative ones. And so when you need a direction to take, there is one that will untangle your problems, answer your questions, and bring otherworldly satisfaction. Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, Rick Thomas here. We're helping people live effective lives. This is Teen Devotion number 14. Where do we go from here? To despair over your disappointments is not what God has called you to do. He wants you to trust Him no matter how formidable the enemy appears to be at this moment. And so as you think about your problems or the negative things that are happening into your life and what are the next steps that you should take? Well, I want to give you 6 tips that I believe will aid you in appropriating God's transforming grace into your life as you take your next steps. Again, Teen Devotion number 14. Where shall we go from here? Tip number 1, genetic, familial, or cultural influences do not have to bind you. Some people believe in genetic determinism or familial determinism or cultural determinism. Those things have impact and they do have influence, but they do not have more influence than the grace of God. You can break any binding and create a satisfying life. Don't fall prey to the false teaching of genetic, familial, cultural determinism because it's just not true. God's grace is greater. And so the question I want you to think about under this point number 1 is, what is the primary control that shapes your life? Is it God? Is it genetics? You believe that? Is it family? Is it culture? If you would have a discussion about that with a friend, that would be, I think it could be quite helpful. Tip number 2, you have to get to the root of the foundation, and the root of the foundation must be changed into the gospel. Your foundation must be the gospel. You have to have a gospel starting point, and a gospel starting point will give you a gospel ending point. The question here under tip number 2, is the gospel your starting point? Now perhaps you don't even know what that means, or you got a vague idea of what that means. Well, if you want to discuss that, we do have some resources that we can give you that will help unpack this idea of having a gospel-centered foundation. Number 3, never ask if you are worshiping. That's a question that is redundant, quite honestly, because the truth is everybody is bowing the knee to something. Some people think that they're independent. Some people think they're self-sufficient, but it's not true. Even the goldfish living in the goldfish bowl, he feels independent, feels self-sufficient, but somebody else is changing his water. Someone else is giving him fish pellets so that he can eat. And so the question for you to ponder is, who or what are you worshiping? What is the primary object of your worship? Again, you never really have to ask anybody if they're worshiping because God made them to worship. We're wired to worship. The more important question is, what are you worshiping? Number 4, the starting place for change is not external behavior, but it is your heart. I kind of talked about this in point number 2 just a couple of moments ago about having a gospel-centered foundation. Well, it's important to remember that because whatever your starting point is, again, it will be your ending point. And so you want to make sure as you make changes into your life that you change your heart. Always start at the heart level. Now, perhaps you need to make some behavioral changes. Please make them. Make whatever behavioral changes you need to make, external changes I'm talking about, but you also have to make sure that you're changing your heart, because if you don't change your central core, well, whatever you change on the outside, they will come back eventually because you haven't had true heart change. All practices, all behaviors flow from the heart. Tip number 5, transformation is not primarily about the parent. It's not primarily about the teenager. Transformation is primarily about God. And so let the Lord be your starting point. As you are addressing what's going on in your heart, as you're building a gospel-centered foundation, make sure the Lord is your point of focus. Sometimes teenagers can look at their parents and think that, well, their parents is the problem and the parents is, well, what their focus needs to be. It's not true. I'm sure parents can influence you and maybe make things difficult for you. But again, you want to make sure that your starting point and your point of focus is with the Lord. Now, with that in mind, I have a question for you. What does your submission to your parents, or your lack of submission to your parents, what does that reveal about your relationship with the Lord? If you think about the Lord being your starting point and being your central focus, one of the ways that you can identify or assess how well you are focusing on Him is by how well you are submitting to your parents. Point number 6, the event of salvation is not the goal. It's the new beginning that places you on the long-term path for a God-glorifying life. Getting saved is a punctiliar moment. It is a moment in time, a point in time. It is one event that happens and never happens again. But that is a starting point. That is like the starting blocks as you're getting ready to run down the track. And so there are the starting blocks that gets you ready for the race. That's salvation. But then you spend the rest of your life running the race as you're progressively being changed into the image of Christ. If you are a believer, how have you been changing since the day that God saved you? You're already in the starting blocks. You have been born again. How have you been running the race? Those are 6 tips that will help you as you move forward. Now, here are the questions for this teen devotion number 14. Where do we go from here? Number 1, I want you to choose one of these 6 tips from the list that I've just given you and focus on that tip over the next few days. And then number 2, write a specific plan for implementing that tip into your life. Find a mentor, a friend to share what the Lord is teaching you. If you don't have that person in your life, please come to our ministry, our free ministry, and you can talk to us on our free community forums. We would love to walk alongside you. If you benefited from this video, would you please subscribe to our YouTube channel? And also, would you share it with a friend? I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching the video.